Oh man, listen to how smooth that engine is. So today is the day that I've been waiting for. It's time for the Aztek's first oil change after the engine, the head gasket rebuild. Let's get started. What's up, guys? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. Thank you so much for joining today. Before we get started, I just want to make a note for everybody who's watching these videos, who has been watching them, who's going to watch them. One small thing that I made a change to recently was the titles of the videos, because it kind of used to drive me a little crazy on how I would kind of put vehicle vlog and then the number after and then the title would kind of be just hidden, and I was kind of irritated with that. Honestly, I wish I had thought of better names for these video series instead of just using Mike's Vehicle Vlogs or Mike's Vehicle Spotlight. But whatever, I couldn't think of anything at the time that I was doing both of these things, and it's like whatever. So, but Vehicle Vlog just seemed too long for the actual description in the YouTube title range, but I wanted to find a way to keep the numbers there too, so you guys know what sequence these vlogs are always, put out in. And even though the little thumbnail picture shows you the number in the title and stuff, I don't know how many people actually pay attention to that, so that's why I usually just tried to put it in the title in the YouTube line, the YouTube title line. But from now on, these are just going to be MV and then the number. So if you see MV, it's short for Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. MVV looks weird. It looks like a W, MW, and so MV, and then the number, and then the title of the vlog. So just a little shortened. I don't want anybody to get confused. That is what the deal is with the title, if you are at all concerned. So I have a busy day today, and a lot of this stuff that I'm doing today is going to be vlog material because I have a lot of stuff to do with all three of these cars today. In fact, we are getting ready to do the first oil change on the Aztek right now. The first oil change since the engine has been rebuilt and running. I will give you guys a brief breakdown as to the history of this engine since I've had it, in case you don't follow these vlogs all that much. But we're also going to do an oil change on the Fiesta. Not that big a deal right now because I filmed the Fiesta's oil change, but we're also going to do the very first oil change on the 15 Fusion also this weekend, or today I should say, because it's the first oil change with me since I've had it. It's a little overdue, but today, I had to wait for some decent weather. Today's not too bad. It's like 35, somewhere between 35. Well, the Aztek says 38 degrees, so it's not freezing. The sun keeps poking out here and there. It's going away, comes back, whatever. And yeah, today's a good day to do all this stuff. Also, for another vlog here in the near future, I'm going to do it today, but just a little sneak peek. I got some of the roof, the headliner, torn out of the Aztek because of the sunroof leak. Brief history, the water was coming through the opening here and leaking onto the sunroof button. So I know we have a drain issue up there. I started to tinker with it last night, started getting dark, and then I thought I'd save the rest of it for a vlog. So that's what we're going to do today also for an upcoming vlog. So yeah, I got a busy day. I got at least three to four vlogs coming just in one day. For those of you who don't follow my vlog series, this is an 01 Pontiac Aztek GT, 3400 V6 obviously, infamous head and intake gasket failing engines. And that's what was wrong with this one when I bought it. So I've had it for just a little over a year. Bought it for $400 from a couple who lives a little over an hour away. We had to tow it home or trailer it home, and it ran. Wasn't able to run it for long because it did have a blown head gasket due to what I think is a faulty radiator, which is something I'm finding out. But overall, the condition of this engine was horrid. And I couldn't wait to tear it apart and get everything back to a good running order for this car. So I would come out here and start the car from time to time when I first got it, just to let it run. It was, winter still, and I didn't want anything to freeze up. But the oil in the car obviously was awful. It looked like chocolate milk. So that's obviously a sign of bad intake in head gaskets, you know, whatever. The very first oil change we did, you know, like I said, it was all chocolate milk that came out, and it was followed by a lot of sludge, which deeply concerned me. This engine just has not been taken care of over the course of its lifetime, it seems. Very, very neglected engine from the looks of it. Ew. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is terrible. You know, I've had the car, like I said, for a little over a year. It's been sitting for 2. It sat for 2 years total, you know, even with me. So it's been sitting here for a year, but the previous people had it parked for a year. And, you know, all of that contamination and stuff's been in that engine for a long time. So got all of that out. I put some clean oil in it, even though I knew it was going to tear the engine apart soon, and drain it all back out. So the second oil change, a lot of clean oil. It still looked pretty good. Still had a golden color to it. You could see that some of the contaminations were coming out. And then, of course, it was followed by a bunch of sludge. So the sludge came out, more sludge, more sludge. I mean, it was just a never-ending rain of sludge. So I left the oil plug off for a while just to make sure all that stuff drained out, plugged it back up, and then the engine sat for a little while, all torn apart. It took me a little while to get everything back together. But, you know, when I did, you know, make sure that the obviously the gasket surfaces are clean. Replaced the heads, cleaned up the heads, made the heads look amazing compared to how they looked, you know, the ones that were on this engine. And of course, you know, cleaned all the valves as best I can, cleaned the springs, cleaned the rocker arms, cleaned the push rods. I cleaned just about everything that I could free of sludge and grime. So this engine, the very top half of the engine was near immaculate, in my opinion, when it went back onto the engine. And then, you know, added some new fresh oil, of course. Opened up the drain plug once more before I put the new oil in, obviously, to see if anything else come out. And I got more sludge. So there was just so much contamination still falling to the bottom of the engine. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe what was coming out of this engine, even after I thought everything was gone. Absolutely amazing and disgusting and sad. So I honestly haven't had a whole lot of hope in thinking the engine was going to last, you know, long in this car, thinking I was going to have to actually replace the engine. So then, you know, we put new oil in it. I got it running, and I added seafoam to the oil also. I put half a bottle of seafoam in there to kind of clean everything out. And within days of me having the car running and stuff, even though it's not drivable yet, you know, still coming out here, letting it run, you can see how the contamination is starting to come up through the ports in the, you know, in the heads when you open up the oil fill cap. So I know the seafoam's breaking stuff down. Also, you know, the clean oil's breaking stuff down, and you know, the engine's in such good order now. I mean, it's running really, really good. There's no knocking, no ticking. Finally got all the misfire issues figured out, so it's running smooth as silk. I mean, my hand's on the steering wheel, and you'd probably, you know, you would see it shaking a little bit when this car was missing. So it's literally running so good right now. And yeah, so I can't wait to see what's going to come out of here. I'm expecting, I'm honestly hoping not to see any sludge, but at the same time I do want to see sludge, only because I know it's coming out and it's not staying in there. But at the same time, if I don't see sludge, hopefully, you know, it's a lot of it's been, you know, kind of mixed in. It's not gonna stay around in the engine, you know. So I can't wait to see what's gonna come out of this engine after its first real long run time with me since I've had it rebuilt. So I've had it on for a little while now. It's almost at temperature, and I just want to get it warm enough. I want the oil to circulate, so that way I can get as much of this crud out as I can. So yeah, that's pretty much the backstory on it, if you didn't know. Yeah, like I said, she's running so good now. So I still have I have a little more hope for this engine now, because it's running better. I still want to get some better gas in it. I keep putting like $3 worth of gas in it because that's all the gas can really hold. But it's, you know, the tank's constantly low. I think the gauge kind of quit working. It kind of sits in the same low spot now. It hasn't really done a whole lot. So one of these days I'll have to actually fill up more than one tank and try to get it a little higher, but who knows, there might still be condensation in the tank, so, but it's still running a lot better than it did. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, she's running good. Therm is open. This is hot. I don't see any steam right now because it's really not all that cold. I can't even see my breath today, but you know. She sounds good. She sounds strong. So yeah. Now what I'm doing today, I'm just gonna put the Walmart SuperTech oil into it, just regular conventional 5W30, only because as of right now, you know, this stuff's probably not going to stay in there for too long. I just, you know, I don't want to put high-end oil in it yet because it's all going to be coming back out. I'm going to add some more seafoam to it today also. I think I have another bottle of seafoam in the basement. So we're just going to use this to put it in. I'm not really knocking, you know, Walmart or SuperTech oil. I'm sure it's decent oil. I just usually buy stuff like Valvoline or Pennzoil. It's, you know, stuff that I've been using for a long time. I've never used SuperTech, but you know, it was like $12 for this thing. So since it's gonna just be flushed back out in time anyway, there's really no point in keeping or, you know, spending money on the good stuff, the real good stuff, you know, until a little bit later. I did, however, get the AC Delco filter because it was $1 more than the SuperTech filter. So I mean, again, the SuperTech filters are probably okay, but I want to make sure that I'm getting a filter that is going to keep, you know, the contaminants from, you know, cycling throughout the engine, you know. I want something that's going to block all that stuff. And I bought a filter, or a funnel, but this funnel is not really for this car. It's for these, because of how the valve covers are set up. I have a long funnel that fits into this really easily. So ever since I replaced the PCV valve, I'm not seeing as much color, like as much foam. You can see how dark it is in there. Maybe the light's kind of bad. But yeah, that used to look so clean in there, and now you can just see how it's full of dark. You know, it's not too bad, but it definitely doesn't look like it's as clean as it was. So I hope we get a lot of nasty stuff out of here and keep the engine, you know, running. Hopefully for, you know, many years to come. My assumption is it's still the original engine, I believe. So 170,000 miles. So yeah. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and shut it off now. It's been on long enough. The oil's probably going to be scalding hot. Such a good sounding engine. I've always loved how these 34s sound. I think I might need to get a new ignition. The key is worn and the key is cracked, so I'm gonna have to eventually get that done, but yeah, whatever. Okay. So I think the jack's already over here. I figured I'd do this car first also because of the fact that when the jack comes down, I can't get it out because of this tire being flat, so it's literally, you can't get the jack out when it settles, and I'm going to need it for the other two cars. So once I get this up, I could put the stands under the front and then obviously use the jack for other things. Another thing too is when I first got this car and I let it run just even for a little bit, and you open up this cap, you would see all of this smoke come out of the valve cover. nowadays, you know, I had it on for a long time up to temperature, and you see a little bit, which is normal, but nothing compared to what used to come out of here. It's amazing. Okay, so underneath, I mean, I see oil and stuff, but there's a transmission line up there. For some reason, it hasn't been fitting in the radiator, so a lot of that's probably from the transmission spewing out. I would check the oil in this car occasionally just to see if it's still at level, and you know, this car is not losing oil. I think the seal around the crank pulley is leaking a little bit from what I was able to see, but other than that, she has been at full, you know. And I know I haven't been driving it or anything, but I've been running it quite a bit since it's been back together. So and then the filter, we removed the oil cooler, so the filter is sitting, you know, on the block. I had to go pull an adapter from a 3400 without the oil cooler and plug up the coolant passage on the block with a fitting, again from another 3400 without the oil cooler package. So yeah, I can't wait to see this now. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a 15. Mistaken? I am not. You can even see in the pan some of those particles. That's leftover sludge from when I even first did the first oil change on here. So it's gonna be hot. Want to see if anything. I wondered if there was gonna be potentially gasoline in this oil because of the misfire. I wasn't sure if you know, since I've had it running with the misfire, if the gasoline could possibly be in here. Now look at that. It's already thick. It doesn't even look watery. When I did this for the second oil change, there was a bunch of water that looks like it had fallen, but I had it, you know, it's mixed up now, so I don't know. It looks, you know, thicker, so. Alright. Oh boy. I'm excited. Okay, here we go. Wow. I tell you what, that seafoam is amazing. So this oil's been in here since either the very end of October or the very beginning of November was when I put this oil in with the seafoam. So it's been about, today's March 2nd, so it's been over 3 months that's been in here, and I've ran many hours with it, and it just, wow. It does look a little chocolatey. Now that could be also from whatever is being broken up, you know, leftover stuff, you know. You can see the streak of sludge in that. No sludge yet. I mean, nothing goopy's dripping out. So that's kind of good, I guess. I hope. No sludge. I'm really surprised so far. I'm happy. Hopefully it's not still stuck up anywhere. Alright. Here's what's left over on my glove after the oil ran off. That's all the residue in the crevices. Oh yeah, no sludge. It's just a little bit of watery oil dripping out. Alright, so we'll let that sit for a little longer, and then I'll pull the filter off. Okay, so wiped off the plug. Plug still doesn't look too bad. The seal looks pretty decent still. The outside of this plug looks like it's been chewed up. So I might end up buying a plug in the near future, because once these start to round out, we're going to be in trouble. But for now, I think it's okay. Yeah. And then, still dripping. I've been watching it. It's about as good as it's going to get, but no sludge, no chunky stuff, nothing. So I am happy to see that. Hopefully we can keep that from ever happening. So this poor car, man, just did not get the love that it deserved. No car should ever have to endure that. That's awful. Absolutely awful. Alright. Yeah, for that oil being that dark and this car like not being driven or like, you know, really used other than just sitting in here and having a couple of revs done to it every once in a while, it's pretty impressive. Now we get to check on the filter. Okay, so trying to get the filter off, as to be expected, is kind of tight. I've been using my pliers to try to get it to loosen, but these keep slipping, I think because of that stuff that's on this filter. It's supposed to be an easy grip filter, so all I'm really doing is tearing the filter apart, but it's getting better. And all I did was hand tighten it, but we just had it on, so it's, you know, the running, the heat, you know, hopefully the little adapter isn't coming with it. Ooh. It's always hard to get a grip on this while it's still full. I know this angle's awful. Sorry. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, it doesn't look as bad as the first time. Oh, that first time was awful. Adapter's still there. The gasket, yeah, gasket came off. Sweet. Okay, so I'll just have to clean that up before we put the new filter on. And we'll be good to go. Alright, so the new AC Delco filter. Gasket's been lubricated. Wiped off the block where the filter goes on. I'd really like for you guys to be able to see that. Sheesh. Okay, there. Wiped it off a little bit. A new filter in place. We're just gonna try to snug it up by hand, like I always say, but they always end up getting tighter. Plus with this position, it's kind of hard to really get a good grip on it, but plugs in, new filter's on. Let's get out of here, get some more on it. Okay, so for the filling and stuff, we'll get it off the jacks for a little bit, even though I gotta jack it back up anyway, so I can get my jack out of it. I'll try to lower it enough so it looks like the tire's not flat. So maybe about there. Maybe. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, bombs away. They got a golden. Okay, so I just wiped down the dipstick, and she's sitting at the full mark, maybe a tad above. I tried to put 4.5, and I think I'm a little over, but not that big a deal. We could look in here. You can actually see the bottom of the heads again. You can see the clean stuff, flushed out the dirty stuff when we were pouring it in, so you can see the bottom of the head. So it looks like none of that stuff stuck, which is good. Probably maybe the seafoam, I don't know. So let me go get the seafoam, wipe off this cap also, get the cruddy stuff off of it. Good enough. I wish these came in see-through bottles. So I'm going to do about half of this. This is what I did the first time. That's probably about half there, yeah. Okay. We're done. Let's go ahead and you can tell how it flushed even the color of the oil away. Alright. So we'll go ahead and get it started. Let it run for a little while and I'll start working on the, I'm doing the Fiesta first. It's probably going to be easier. There's a lot more to this than your typical oil change, and you'll see that in the upcoming vlog about it. I'm going to say she's not going to start on her own, even though I had it running for a while, but it's still cold out here, so that battery might not still be up to par. It's dim? I don't think so. No. Once the tech's ready to go for real and it's actually worthy of driving, we'll get a brand new battery for it. What was the oil life on this one? I reset the oil life monitor when I first changed it. 94%. We'll go ahead and reset it to 0, just to be nice about it. Okay, here we go. Okay, no oil pressure issues. Still sounds good. Let's see if anything's getting pushed up. Yeah, you can already see more dirt stuff. What a difference. Don't worry about that. Okay, nothing from the plug, and well, that's still wet from the thing, but doesn't look like anything's coming from there, so I think we're good. I think that's trans fluid. Yeah, they're still leaking in that line. Thought that line would be completely empty by now. We're gonna have to do the radiator anyway, so there's really no point in even correcting it. The radiator, I think, is going to come with 2 new fittings for it anyway, if that happens to be the issue. I think she's got a chance. Alright guys, so there you have it. This is the third oil change. Is it? Yes, this is the third oil change I've done on the Aztek since I've had it, despite not driving it or anything. This is the best one. Didn't get any sludge. We're just gonna keep hoping that all that stuff flushes out over time. Really impressed with how that oil, how dirty it looked just for the car sitting here and only being ran, you know, like maybe a half hour to an hour every so often. Sometimes shorter than that, but that's pretty good. I'm glad to see that all that stuff is coming out of there. So I think there might be a chance that this engine's going to be okay. It sounds good. It's running so good right now. Get some really good gas in it, and I'm sure it'll be even better. I'm looking forward to driving this thing. So that's it. I'm going to jump on the Fiesta's oil change, let this camera charge up for a little bit, and I'll see you guys probably in the next vlog for the Fusion's oil change, which honestly I'm not looking forward to doing because of an additional procedure that has to be done before you even get under the car, really get to everything. So guys, if you thought this was interesting, if you enjoyed this, if you're happy as happy as I am seeing how good this engine's been so far, give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's it. I'll see you guys next with the Fusion oil change, and then I'll probably see you after that with this sunroof debacle that we got going on here. Hopefully we'll be able to resolve that today also. I'm hoping, I don't think it's going to be that complicated from what I can see so far, but you never know. The last time I tried to do a sunroof issue, fix a sunroof issue, it went terribly wrong. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.